A family vacation isn't a family vacation if only one of you gets to feel like you're on vacation. And that's why today we're going to be talking about how to prepare for and communicate through and be a team on those upcoming family trips that you have so that you don't come home with extra baggage in the form of resentment and discouragement and overwhelm and exhaustion. You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe things can actually be better than ever after having kids. But it takes intentional conversation, personal growth, and community to get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, life and relationship coach, fellow mom and wife, and lover of taboo topics. I'm here to give you insight, practical tools, and conversations to help your relationships survive and thrive through the big changes of parenthood. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Better Relationships After Baby. I am your host and your cheerleader and one of your biggest fans, Chelsea Skaggs. And in the sake of honesty, I just felt like I should tell you what I was doing right as I started to record this podcast. Of course, the yelling starts, and my children have woken up for the day. I love that. And then comes the screaming and the yelling. And a lot of our days start pretty peacefully around here, but I can't pretend that every single one does. And today it was over who gets more time snuggling and being with the dog. Now, mind you, as you can probably guess, there are plenty of times when our dog needs more love and attention than is available to her. This dog, we have a golden doodle. She could never get enough love, affection, and attention. She lives for it. And there are plenty of times that she wants it and she's not getting it. And yet here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning, with an argument about who's getting more time with the dog. But you know what? I think we're settled. We redirected. We affirmed the feelings. We talked about how to communicate that with each other. And I'm here to record this episode with you. So I want to talk with you about preparing for, working through, and enjoying a vacation, a summer trip, whatever is on your radar over the next few months. Summer tends to be a time where there are more trips, more vacations, whether that is visiting family in another town or another state, or whether this is a vacation trip you have planned for to a destination that you absolutely love. We've got to make sure that you are prepared to not fight like my children were this morning on your family vacations, how to share the load with your partner and actually enjoy your time. So let's be honest, because going on vacation with little kids isn't exactly restful. But I want to make it more restful for you today by making sure you're not the one doing everything. If you've ever come home from a family trip more tired than before you left, you are so not alone. I am actually doing this work right now with a couple of my clients, preparing uniquely for them and very specifically for upcoming vacations and changes of schedule and expectation. You know, you're not going to enjoy this cool trip, vacation, travel that you have planned if you and your partner aren't partnering, if you and your partner aren't good at communicating, if you are not working together in stressful situations, you're not going to love that expensive vacation the way you want to. So hopefully today you'll get some ideas, tips, and the inspiration so that both of you can have moments of actual rest and joy and maybe, dare I say, even a margarita alone. Before you had a child, chances are You and your partner both packed your own bag. You both got your own boarding passes prepared. You both made sure that you had the snacks and the movies and the headphones that you needed for the plane ride or the long car ride. But when kids get added into the equation, those darn kids don't come out able to do these things on their own, which is rude. When you got to vacation pre-kids, maybe you could go grab some food when you were hungry. Your partner could grab food when they were hungry. And oftentimes you grabbed food together, but it didn't have to be in sync. And when you needed a moment to just chill on the beach, you're just like, hey, babe, popping in my headphones, opening up my book. I'm going to be unavailable. Don't talk to me for a little while. And you could like both do that when you wanted to. And with kids in tow, you just can't do it the same. So let's set the scene a little bit. You finally get a break from the daily grind. You've packed the swimsuits, the sound machines, the snacks, the sunscreen. You hope to feel that sunshine on your face and breathe a little deeper. And instead, you're still doing everything. You're managing naps, you're figuring out food, you're mediating the tantrums. And it seems like your partner is just chilling on the deck or asking you where the wipes are. Again, vacation isn't a break if only one of you gets one. During one of our trips, I remember standing at the kitchen sink, not my kitchen sink, an Airbnb kitchen sink, scrubbing plates while my partner was outside on the deck scrolling his phone. And I just thought to myself, no, this is not what I signed up for. And we ended up having one of those big fights on day 3 that felt like a repeat. And when we finally talked, like really talked and asked questions and kept digging deeper into why, or what were you thinking when that happened, or what was your intention with this, or the story I'm telling myself is this, we realized that we had not ever before sat down to plan a trip as partners. So that was the beginning of a pre-vacation talk. And we didn't even know what we didn't even know. But now this is something I'm recommending to you, to anyone I work with. Don't wait until you're on the road or in the midst of the chaos and you're feeling a little heated to have those important conversations. Do it ahead of time when you both have more bandwidth and curiosity. Here are a few questions that I've been giving my clients recently to walk through before they leave. And I will put these in a blog post that you can find down in the show notes. 1, what does rest actually look like for both of us? 2, what's one thing you really want to experience on this trip? Like, if we don't get to 90% of our list, what is the one thing that's going to really nail this down for you, make you feel really good about this trip? 3, what times of the day are most difficult with our kids, and how can we divide that load? Maybe it's taking shifts, like one person is responsible for watching the kids and the other person gets some time away, gets time to maybe be around but not be completely on, or maybe be in their own space. Of course, on a family vacation, you want time that's overlapping and you're all together, but when everyone's hanging out, maybe it's by the pool or the ocean or the lake, whatever it is, chances are there's one person that's typically super tuned in, not able to read their book, not able to browse through their magazine very well, not able to work on writing something. I don't know. I'm just giving examples of things I like to do on vacation. But typically, if this isn't discussed, there's going to be one person that's always tuned in. So everything else they're trying to do to quote unquote relax feels like it's not able to be given the full attention, while one other person is like there, but they're not really there. We want to talk about how to divide the hardest times with the kids, the most stressful times, and the good times, the really fun times. How do we attack the days in a way that gives both of you some spaces of rest. Even taking 20 minutes to talk through this can save you those days of resentments. Now, once you know what you each need, you get to give your trip a loose rhythm. Okay. This doesn't have to be a color coded itinerary where you know that from exactly 2:03 to 5:07, this is where you are. Like, if that floats your boat, that's fine. But I don't know that that's going to be the most helpful thing for everyone. But maybe it's a rhythm like you take every other morning, I take every other morning. And then you each get a couple of mornings to be off, to maybe go take a class or write or read or be around the family, but just sipping your coffee, not the one responding to the kids. And it takes away that frantic energy that is kind of a waste of our energy. That's that back and forth, like who's on? Who's on? What am I doing? Where are you? Are you here? Am I here? Who's doing this? That can lead to frustration and honestly just like exhaustion. It takes energy that doesn't need to be taken. So when we're proactive about those things, it doesn't drain our energy like it does trying to problem solve in the middle of chaos. So the other part I want to share with you, recommend, invite you into is making sure you talk like a team while you're there. This is a big one. During your trip, be on the same side. It might be phrases like, "Hey, do you want me to take this shift for a bit? Looks like you are needing a little rest. Go get that." Or would now be a good time for you to go take that walk you said you wanted? What do you need right now? This is the real time stuff that makes or breaks how connected you feel. Do you feel like you are just the babysitter trip coordinator, or do you feel like you and your family are enjoying time together and each of you get a slice of that pie? One of the tools that I actually teach when I'm doing relationship blueprint mapping is how to use simple, clear language that creates that connection instead of conflict. Okay, the goal isn't to avoid stress. You're taking a trip with kids, you're going to have some stress. But the goal is to be able to walk through that as a team. Part of that is also knowing how to reset. Okay. There are going to be some hard moments. Your toddler will melt down in public. Someone will get sand in their sandwich. You might even start to spiral into a fight in the town square of this cute little place you're visiting. Okay. When that happens, you need to have simple reset cues. This is what teams do. This might be, hey, I think I need a reset. Can we pause and check in? Or even, I love you. This feels hard. Let's take 5 minutes and try this again. Okay. Give each other permission to step away from a moment, regroup, come back with compassion. This actually used to be really hard for me because my husband was good at saying when he needed a break, when he needed a reset. And he makes good on, hey, I need 5 minutes or I need 10 minutes. And it's not usually a bunch of time, right? How many people stop and scroll through their phones for 5 or 10 minutes in the middle of the day? But what I found was that I didn't want to need a break. I wanted to just be able to push on and take care of everyone. And so I super resented him when he was able to say that he needed a break. Now, years later in our relationship, we've both been able to pass this ball back and forth and respect a couple of things, which I think is a really important piece of having the trust to do this. One, we respect that the other person is going to use that time well and be able to show back up with better energy and use that to add to the collective of the family. We also have this trust that we're not going to abuse that nobody's going to, take a break when they really don't need it or just try to slide by or slack off. Okay. So that is a part of it. But when you get to build that trust and you are both willing to be self aware enough to take a little reset when you need it, then you get to pass the energy back and forth in a way that is synergistic and not competitive. Okay. And as you're thinking about your upcoming trips, I just want to remind you it gets to be messy and good. Okay. take the permission slip right now. The vacation will not be perfect. I don't give a flying flip if you have any good family pictures. Like, if you want them, I hope that for you. But also, you're not going to impress me by having a super cute posed, everyone is smiling and looking at the camera family picture. I'm not going to look at that and say, oh, there's someone that really has it together. I'm going to be like, oh, they got lucky this year. Everybody's looking at the camera. That's not everybody. And that doesn't really define who you are as a family. It can be screaming toddlers and each of you getting a night to have a sunset walk. Look, I know you would probably rather have the sunset walk together. And this year, this season, it might be that you each get it by yourself. But don't make it that one person gets the resets and one person feels resentful and left out of the experience. You have to decide together that you're not doing it alone, not at home, not on vacation, not in this season of life. And if you want some help creating that rhythm that works not just for vacation, but for your everyday life together, then you really should know more about relationship blueprint mapping. This is my deep dive session for couples who are ready to stop living on autopilot and start building something sustainable, fulfilling, and true to you. During this work together, we walk through exactly how to communicate, set rhythms, make aligned decisions as a team so that you're enjoying the life that you're building. If this episode gave you a breath of hope, share it with your partner and say something like, hey, let's listen to this together before our trip, because you can enjoy this season together, and I want to help you get more of that. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.